Not every brother in this truth have the same office. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rachakwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. And, this is going to be a lesson, especially for you brothers who are new coming into the faith. Not every brother in this truth will have the same office, which is also why, brothers should not be envious of one another. If you see that a brother know more than you, well, you must consider the fact that that brother's office might be different from yours. If you see that, some of your brothers, they might go out on the highways and the hedges more often than prophesy, well, you must consider the fact that you may not have the office of going out multiple times a week to teach. You might just go out once a week. Some brothers are encouragers. Some brothers create videos to exhort brothers to continue in the faith. Some brothers create videos to edify the flock. Some brothers create videos to to break you down, but then to build you back up. Some brothers create videos on life lessons. Some brothers are physicians. So some brothers might create videos on how to cure certain ailments that you might have. Okay? Some brothers might specialize in the law, even though we're not going to be saved on keeping the law, because we cannot keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. But some brothers might specialize in that area, going into some of the laws that you have to keep to the best of your ability. Some brothers specialize in our history. Some brothers might go deeper into when we went into captivity under multiple nations to the slavery we went through here in America, So, basically what I'm saying is not every brother is going to have the same office. Some brothers are going to do more videos than other brothers. Some brothers are going to specialize in prophecy. Some brothers are going to be more into the news. Some brothers are going to be more watchful than brothers. Some brothers are going to be more humble than brothers. So not every brother in this truth have the same office. Romans chapter 12, verse 4, for as we have many members in one body, right, because we are one body in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Really, that one body is talking about Yahweh Shai, okay? We are many members of Yahweh Shai's body. Now, this is figuratively speaking, We are many members of one body, because we all come in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai at the end of the day, and we're serving one power and one Lord and Savior. Okay? But like Yahweh Shai said in the book of Matthew, he said that all judgment was given unto him. So we are many members in one body. Okay? The body of Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? And all members have not the same office. So we, being many, are one body in Yahweh Shai. Okay? And if you're one body in Yahweh Shai, then that means that you're you're a person who is spiritual in this truth. You know, you're not carnal, but you're spiritual. Why? Because Yahweh Shai was a spiritual man. He is a spiritual person. So we got to walk in the spirit too, just as Yahweh Shai walked in the spirit. And everyone members one of another. Okay? Having then gifts, right? The gifts that I mentioned earlier, some brothers have the gift of prophecies. So, you know, when they go into the news, you know, they can pinpoint in the scriptures where that prophecy is written or where that prophecy is written. Okay. You know, you got some brothers who are good at edifying, you know, so those brothers, you know, they're more deep in the scriptures. You know, some brothers specialize in history. So they might open up, they might show you certain websites, you know, going into the history of Israel, you know, when Israel was in captivity under the Roman Empire, the Maccabean revolts. Some brothers are good at exhortation, you know, some brothers have the gift of exhortation. So the Lord had blessed them with certain talents to create certain, you know, unique videos. Like like I forgot the name of that YouTube channel, but I believe it's called Bon Banak Tazak. But you know, hey, that brother, he makes some excellent, encouraging videos. You know, showing you know, Israelites with spiritual powers and crowns on their heads, and you know, white glowing eyes, and you know, a face full of beards. You know, showing certain videos with you know, spiritual powers in it. Okay, so every brother is going to have different gifts. Some brothers might have diverse gifts. Some brothers might be able to do a little bit of everything in this truth. But even though they might not excel greatly in each of those categories, but they can do them all, you know. Having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us. Okay, and when it tells you, well, when it speaks of grace, it's really talking about faith. Okay, as it is written, through grace we are saved through faith. Okay, and faith is a gift given from on high, from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Whether prophesy, let us prophesy, or rather prophecy, let us prophesy, according to the portion of faith. Or ministry, let us wait on our ministering. Or he that teacheth, on teaching. Okay? Or he that exhorteth, the word exhort means to encourage, on exhortation, on encouragement. He that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. And that's another thing too. Some brothers in his truth are helps. You know, the Lord might have blessed certain brothers with money to be able to give to the apostles a great millstone, or to hand out to other brothers who might need it in cases of emergencies, you know. So you got some brothers who are helps. You know, you got some brothers that, you know, them, the wives, their children, they might make garments for certain brothers, you know. They might buy certain gifts for certain brothers. Okay? Okay. He that ruleth with diligence, he that showeth mercy with cheerfulness. Let love be without dissimulation. Dissimulation means falseness. Okay? Abhor that which is evil, cleave to that which is good, as it is written in the book of Amos, I believe the 3rd chapter, hate the evil and love the good. Okay? And a matter of fact, when you look up the word wicked literally means evil or morally wrong. And we know the wicked to be the biblical Edomites, which are so-called white people, starting with the so-called elites, to the so-called elite banking families, to the so-called elite families, to the so-called banking elites, trickling down to the average so-called white Joe, you know, driving in his trailer truck with a six-pack of beer. Okay, they're the wicked. And the biblical, okay, so-called white people, they're the wicked according to the Holy Scriptures. And they're also the biblical Edomites. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 1. Follow after charity and desire spiritual gifts. Okay, you can read about charity, I believe, in 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter. Or it might be, hold on, let me check real quick. Okay, yeah, the 13th chapter. But I believe the 15th chapter speaks on. No, it's 1 Corinthians the 1 Corinthians the 13th chapter, Salakia. You can read about charity in 1 Corinthians the 13th chapter. So follow after charity and desire spiritual gifts. Okay, but rather that ye may prophesy. And again, those spiritual gifts come by faith, and faith is a gift. So when you have faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, when you first come into this truth, at first you start off watching videos. You might ask a couple of sincere questions. You might take notes from certain videos, whether if it's mental notes or physical notes or spiritual notes, and as you grow in this truth, the Lord starts to bless you with gifts, and the Lord might give you certain gifts according to the measure of faith. So if your gift is to go out more than once a week to prophesy, well, that's a gift from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You got some brothers, they have the gift of being able to do live streams. That's a gift. Because when you're doing live streams, you're edifying thousands of brothers. Thousands of brothers are being edified, So some brothers have the gift of being able to do live streams. And their live streams be very edifying, Okay, for he that speaketh in an unknown tongue speaketh not unto men, but unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, and that unknown tongue is really talking about the Lashawan Kodash, which is something that only the elect knows about, really. The elect knows about the Lashawan Kodash. Now, not just the elect. You got some of the 2/3 that know about the Lashawan Kodash, such as, the ones who fell out the truth, such as General Yohana, such as Nate, such as, the members of HODC, Zabak of HOI. So you got some members out there that are up to 2/3 that know about the Lashawan Kodash, but ultimately, the elect knows about the Lashawan Kodash. And if you go out speaking, in the Paleo Hebrew, which is the Lashawan Kodash, which the word Lashawan means holy, and then Kodash means tongue. So the holy tongue, okay? Just so you know, Lashawan Kodash. No. Salakia. No, the Hebrew word for holy is Kodash. And then you have the Hebrew word for tongue, which is Lashawan. Right, Lashawan Kodash. Yeah, the Paleo Hebrew can be kind of confusing because you have to read it from right to left. So Quadash, the word Quadash will come first, and then the word Lashawan would come second. And then you would read it from right to left in the Paleo Hebrew, which is Lashawan Quadash, which is holy tongue. And again, the Hebrew word for holy is Quadash. The Hebrew word for tongue is Lashawan. So when you go out there speaking in the holy tongue, which is the Paleo Hebrew, people aren't going to understand what you're saying. The elect would know, though. You know, you might go out there saying Khan, Kanak. You say that around a couple of people in the world, they're going to be like, what the hell? I mean, in the Lashawan Kodash, this is a language you can speak around anyone. You can speak this language amongst any nation around the world, and they will not understand what you're talking about. Because really, the Lashawan Kodash, which is the holy tongue, that is our language. That is what we speak. We speak the holy tongue, which is our language, the Paleo Hebrew. So you got some brothers who specialize in speaking in the Lashawan Kodash, which is the holy tongue. Okay? Which is why when you pray to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, in the Lashawan Kodash, it has more force to it. Because you're speaking unto Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai. I mean, of course, the Lord's going to hear your prayers, even if you're praying in English. I mean, the Lord don't speak English, but hey, that does not mean he don't understand what you're saying. Okay? Okay, the Lord created all these different diverse languages. It tells you that in the book of Genesis. But it says, "For no man understandeth him." Right? Because when you're speaking in the Lashawan Kodash, ain't nobody gonna understand what you're saying. Okay? No nation on this planet will understand what you're saying if you're speaking in the Lashawan Kodash. The only ones that's going to understand what you're saying in the Lashawan Kodash, which is the holy tongue, which is the Paleo Hebrew, are those that are in the truth, or those who were once in the truth. Those are the only ones that's going to understand what you're saying in the Lashawan Kodash. It says, "Howbeit in the spirit he speaketh mysteries. But he that prophesieth speaketh unto men to edification and exhortation and comfort." Like it tells you in 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter. Comfort ye one another with these words. I believe that's 1 Thessalonians 4:17, but don't quote me on it. It could be much further down, but it says, "He that speaketh in an unknown tongue edifieth himself." Okay, but he that prophesieth edifieth the church. Because when you prophesy, you're not just prophesying in the Lashawan Kodash. You're when you prophesy, you're speaking in a language that the majority can understand. And I believe there's two countries that speak English. That's America and Europe. I mean, yeah, you got some Europeans that speak French. You got some Europeans that speak Spanish. But for the most part, Europeans speak English, okay? As a matter of fact, I believe the English language came from Europe. Okay? "I would that ye all spake with tongues, but rather that ye prophesied. For greater is he that prophesieth than he that speaketh with tongues." Right. Because, well, like it tells you in Revelation, the 19th chapter, and I believe the 10th verse, "For the Spirit of the Lord is the spirit of prophecy." Okay? Except he interpret, that the church may receive edifying. Right. Now, brethren, if I could come unto you speaking with tongues, what shall I profit you, except I shall speak to you either by revelation or by knowledge or by prophesying or by doctrine? Now, don't get me wrong. You got some brothers out there who can speak diverse languages. That's also a gift, you know. You got some brothers out there, who are bringing in, other brothers into the fold who don't understand English, but they might understand Spanish, hey, at the end of the day, it's all about waking up the elect. So yeah, you're gonna have brothers in this truth that can speak different languages, you know, but the majority, I would say that the majority of the elect are going to be speaking English. Okay, English is the dominating language of the planet. Okay, I mean, hell, you even got Arabs that speak English. You know, you got Arabs that speak English. You got certain Chinese people that can speak English. You got some Africans that can speak English. You got some East Indians that can speak language. I mean, that can speak English. So English is the most dominating language on this planet right now. So it's always better to just stick with the English. Plus, if somebody don't understand English, and they're of the elect, there's always those captions in the video. They could turn on they could turn on the captions, and you know interpret what's being said. Okay, and even things without life-giving sound, whether pipe or harp, except they give a distinction in the sounds, how shall it be known what is piped or harped? So now let's go to the book of Matthew, or the book of Matthew's chapter 25, verse 14. For the kingdom of heaven is a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto him his goods. Now let's look up this word for goods here, which is hyperchanta, hyperchanta, or hyperchanta. And here it says possessions. Okay, possessions. Okay, goods, wealth, property. Now, when you look at this word wealth, right? The scriptures always refers to wisdom as the riches of the Holy Scriptures. Wisdom, okay? Which is wisdom. Wisdom is likened unto hidden treasures, you know? And when you have spiritual wealth, you have, you also have possessions. Ultimately, when you're building in this truth, you're also storing up spiritual riches, which is in heaven. Okay. Also, the scriptures say that wisdom maketh a man's face to shine. In the book of Revelation, the 2nd chapter, and the 9th verse, the scriptures say, I know thy poverty and tribulations, but thou art rich. Why is the elect rich? They're rich in wisdom. Okay? Like the scriptures say, wisdom is likened unto hidden treasures. So with wisdom comes faith and fear of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And when you have faith and fear in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, you're going to do the things that are pleasing to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And in doing so, you'll be building up your spiritual riches, which is in heaven. But these goods are also talking about spiritual gifts, as I read about in 1 Corinthians, the 14th chapter, okay? These goods are also spiritual gifts, in which if you have a spiritual gift, that's a possession, right? Like how it told you under the Greek word for hyperchanta, you know, it said possessions, wealth, you know. So a spiritual gift is also possession, you know. And with that spiritual gift, you have to make something of it, you know. You can't just have a spiritual gift and just be sitting on it, you know, waiting for Yahweh Shah to return. No, you got to make use of whatever spiritual gift Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai has given you. Rather, if he's made it to where you have a lot of money, you can help brothers out, then do so. That's a gift, a spiritual gift from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. The Lord set you up to be a help, you know. Rather, if the Lord gave you the gift of prophecy, well, prophesy then, you know. Rather, if the Lord gave you the gift of edification, edify, you know. Set up your own live stream, you know. Make edifying lessons out of your spiritual gift, you know. Help build up the church. Well, help build up the house of David or the tabernacle of David, you know. Or rather, if the Lord has given you the gift of exhortation, well, create videos exhorting brothers, you know. If you see something big has happened in the news, share it with the other brothers, you know. That's encouragement too. Or rather, if the Lord has given you the gift or talent to make certain necklaces out of certain stones or precious metals, well, do so. You know, you know, give, share them precious stones with the other brothers. You know, share those precious metals with the other brothers. You know, or rather, if the Lord has given you the gift of going out more than once a week, well, do so. In doing so, you might wake up several people walking up and down the street. They might come into the fold, you know, and that in return will exhort other brothers. Okay, or rather, if the Lord has given you the gift to be a physician, well, go ahead and study herbs and how to make certain remedies out of certain vegetables such as kale and cilantro and rosemaries, and broccoli and spinach, you know, horseradish, onions, garlic, honey. I'm talking about real honey, not that generic shit. Raw cocoa or cow, as they would call it. So, you know, every brother has a unique gift that the Lord has given him. And unto one he gave 5 talents, and to another 2, and another 1. So these talents are talking about spiritual gifts. Okay, so the Lord has when the Lord wakes you up to the truth, and when you get built up enough to the point to where you can start teaching on your own, you start to discover what your spiritual gift might actually be. At first you might have tried to delve into the scriptures, but you just can't break down certain mysteries. However, you might look at certain prophecies and the Lord might give you strong understanding in that category. So now you start to understand that your spiritual gift is to prophesy. I mean, but of course you can still teach the scriptures, just don't try to teach things that you don't understand. Because then you'll end up causing other brothers to go off who are new in this truth. So these talents are talking about the spiritual gifts. Okay. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2 talents, and to another 1 talent, to every man according to his several ability. So the Lord knows what we can handle in this truth and what we can't handle. Okay? So if the Lord knows that you're not good at reading, well, he might make you a excellent speaker out there on the highways and hedges. You know, if you're not good at, prophesying, the Lord might give you strong understanding in the scriptures to where you can break down certain mysteries. You know, if you don't have a lot of money, then you might become a very, very humble brother, you know? And being humble can be very contagious because that can lead other brothers to being humble. So there's many ways the Lord can bless you with spiritual gifts and his truth. And straightway took his journey. Yeah, meaning Yahushua went back to the spirit world 2,000 years ago by the way of a chariot. Like it tells you in Acts, the first chapter, and I believe the 7th verse. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, meaning he brought in other words, he made good use of his spiritual gift and made them other 5 talents. So he brought others into the fold, and that's another thing too. You can use your spiritual gifts to wake brothers up to the truth. That could be possible members of the elect. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the elect. And likewise, he that had the 2, he also gained other 2. But he that had received the 1 talent went and digged it in the earth and hid his Lord's money. So this is a guy who basically fell out the truth, Rather if he became a demon or this guy fell out the truth and he might have became a false prophet, started breaking down the scriptures according to how he believed it should be broken down, or this guy might have just fell out the truth and became a scoffer, he might have became a scorner, or this could just simply be somebody in his truth who is lukewarm, which when you read Revelation, the 3rd chapter, it speaks about those who are lukewarm, so, this might be somebody who is slacking in his truth, In other words, he's not making good use of his spiritual gift. After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh. Right. That's talking about when the Lord comes in these last days. Because like it tells you in 2nd Esdras, let me just get that real quick. Like it tells you in 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter, okay, every man shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed. Salakia. I just want to make sure I spelled that correctly. 2nd Esdras 9:7. Okay. So this is 2nd Esdras chapter 9 verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works. Right. Your works. Your works comes by what you make use of your spiritual gifts with. That's your works right there, Your works is also fasting, praying, praying for brothers, paying your tithes, going out on the highways and hedges and teaching, In other words, you're making good use of whatever spiritual gift or spiritual gifts that the Lord has given you. Whether if you prophesy, whether if you edify, whether if you're a help, whether if you're a physician, whether if you're a brother who encourages other brothers, hey, you're going to escape by your works, which your works cometh by what you do with your spiritual gifts in this truth. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed. So the person who hid his Lord's money, obviously he lost patience or he lost faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And, he might have became a false prophet. This person who hid his Lord's money. He might have became a scoffer, a scorner. This person who hid his Lord's money. He might have just fell out the truth and went back to what he was doing in the world with 7 more demons on him. you know, this person who hid his Lord's money, he might have been somebody who was slacking in his truth. In other words, he was not making, good use of the spiritual gift that was given him. So after a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. In other words, the time of judgment, you know. So when the Lord returns, he's coming back to do a couple of things, actually. He's coming back to destroy the wicked, which the 2/3 of our people can be categorized with the wicked, as well as the so-called white people. Ultimately, so-called white people are the wicked, which they are also the biblical Edomites. So-called white people are the biblical Edomites. And then you have the 2/3 of our people who follow after the wicked, which makes them wicked. And the heathens, they're also going to receive their judgment by the Lord himself. But the Lord is also coming back to deliver. And the Lord is also coming back to put these heathens in slavery, starting with the so-called white man. Okay? So, when the Lord returns, he's going to be looking at your spiritual riches in heaven. He's going to be looking at your spiritual riches in heaven. Now, however, you can't just do, good works in his truth and then go back into the world, because, well, like it tells you in Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, and the 17th verse on down, if that wicked person shall die, all the good works he did in this truth will not be remembered. In other words, the Lord is going to take your spiritual riches, and he's going to take your spiritual riches, and he's going to spread it amongst the other ones who are making good use of his spiritual riches. That are making good use of his spiritual gifts. So, in other words, if you fall out the truth, the Lord is going to take your spiritual riches and he's going to share them amongst the other spiritual riches in heaven, which is, being stored up by, the Lord's elect here on the earth. In other words, the Lord is going to take your spiritual gift from you and give it to other brothers who are making good use of the Lord's spiritual gifts, which he have given them. So once you come into this truth, you have to endure in this truth even until the very end. Okay? Even until the very end, you have to endure. Because if you endure, chances are you could very well be of the elect if you endure unto the end. As it is written, he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Okay, and we know that the elect is going to endure to the end. So hold fast your faith. Hold fast your faith and your fear in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Matthew 25 verse 20. And so he that had received the 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. Okay, so in other words, this person made good use of the Lord's spiritual gift, which was given to him, which the Lord has given him. Okay, and this Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Okay, which also goes to show you that the elect, which are the servants of Yahweh, the true servants of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, they're going to endure unto the very end. Okay? Thou hast been faithful over a few things, I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. In other words, This man received salvation. Okay, this man received salvation because he made good use of the spiritual gifts which the Lord gave him. You know, which if you make good use of your spiritual gifts, you're storing up your spiritual riches in heaven. You know, that's why I said earlier, when the Lord come back, he's going to be looking at your works, man. And your works cometh by you making good use of your spiritual gifts, which the Lord has given you. He also that had the 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. Okay. His Lord said unto him, well done, a good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. So this person right here received salvation because, again, he made good use of the Lord's gift, which was given to him by the Lord, Yahweh Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh. Okay? Okay? But check this out. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, an austere man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. Okay. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reaped where I sowed not, and gathered where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received my own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him. In other words, if you're not making good use of the spiritual gift which the Lord has given you, well, the Lord is going to take away your spiritual gift and give it to other brothers that are making good use of the spiritual gift, of the Lord's spiritual gifts. Take therefore the talent from him and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. Okay? For unto everyone that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness, right? Because once you go back into the world, you're basically a unprofitable servant. Why? Because you're not serving the Lord no more. You're not fasting anymore. You're not praying anymore. You're not going out on the highways and hedges anymore. You know, you're not making videos to edify the church. You're doing nothing that contributes to building the house of David. You know, therefore, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So with that, I'm going to say, Shalom, is on to the next one.